Video 2.3 of school funding of the school governance and budget videos. We will definitely share more links and resources for you to take a deeper dive into school funding, but this is a first overview, an initial overview. When we think about the money that comes to our schools, there are basically two pots of money. One is to build our schools, and the other is to run our schools. So that is everything from the books and the teacher salaries. We typically use federal funds, the local control funding formula funds, the lottery, parcel taxes, and MRAD funds to run our schools. And so overall, this is a rough estimate, but the school district budget is approximately $360 million. In the past, schools were funded based on property taxes, so schools in affluent neighborhoods received more money than schools with homes in a lower property value. In July of 2013, then Governor Jerry Brown signed a new school funding model into law. This plan is known as the LCFF, Local Control Funding Formula, and it requires districts like West Contra Costa to develop an LCAP, or Local Control Accountability Plan, that guides the priorities in the budget development process. So, when we talk about students that receive the support, we're talking about schools with the following groups of students that need more support and more funds: students who are English language learners, students who are of low income, students who are homeless or in foster youth. And so these three groups are called high needs. And when we talk about students being without duplications, we're talking about making sure that if a student is both an English language learner and low income, they won't get funded twice. The idea of giving support to those most in need harkens back to the first session of educational equity, where we understand that supports may be fair but not equal. And that idea brings us back to this image. The idea means giving the support to those most in need to ensure equal access to quality education. Now, here again, these numbers may not be exact, but they offer a rough estimate of how much we spend per child per education in California. So, whether you are a homeowner or you rent in West Contra Costa, the taxes that fund our schools are baked in to whatever you pay per month for the place you live. Here we're able to see how much we spend per student per grade from transitional kindergarten to third, fourth through sixth, seventh through eighth grade, and ninth through 12, were anywhere from about 9 to 11,000. The state of California also receives funds from the California Lottery. It's about $200 per student, and those funds can be used in any way that supports students. And we also get land taxes, and because homeowners and property owners have very many different interests, we are sure to cover every single interest. So, everything from academies, qualified teachers, college and career, smaller class sizes, after school program, you name it, this covers it. We also have the maintenance funds and these are the MRAD funds that are meant for maintaining facilities. We borrow money to build schools. Those are bonds. It's kind of a debt. And so we agree to pay interest on the money borrowed each year, and the amount originally borrowed over a period of many years. When we look at this chart starting from 1999 all the way to 2016, this is the amount of money that we have borrowed from taxpayers. Please note, this is not in millions, this is in billions with a B, currently owing about $1.3 billion. If we were to compare how much West Contra Costa owes per student compared to other similar districts, we can see that we are an outlier both for the size and also for the comparable real estate that costs. We are really out of line. I mean, if we were to look at San Francisco, we know how expensive San Francisco can be. We see that we only owe about $12,000 per student, closer to $13,000. And in West Contra Costa, given our amount of students that we have, owing this looks like it's actually $1.4 billion. That's about $50,000 per student. And if we were to look at our neighbors in Silicon Valley, even if we were to look at half of that amount, which is closer to 25,022, we are clearly more than double in debt. How did we get here? Well, there will be links here where you can see more information on the investigations. But in 2016, our school district was actually audited and found to have 36 out of 51 areas in the construction bond program that were high at risk of fraud. Two school board members actually had their legal fees covered by West Contra Costa. And so, again, you can click here and check out more information there. So, as parents, as community members, what is our duty? What is our responsibility? If our students and community members are here, we firmly believe that we need to use our opportunities to vote if we're able to vote, to stay informed, to speak up at school board meetings and hold decision makers accountable. So to wrap up, the big ideas are West Contra Costa school board members are 5 school board members, and they are the boss of the superintendent. The school board is in charge of a $360 million budget. They are elected by the public. They are in charge of the superintendent, and the superintendent is the head of the district. As parents and community members, we have an obligation to hold the school board accountable. And so head back to Google Classroom and fill out the end of session survey. Share what you learned and what additional information you'd like to know about the school board. Now think about what your commitment can be. What are your next steps? Do you plan on attending a Zoom board meeting? Do you plan on connecting with a school board member? Do you plan on speaking up at a school board meeting? Whatever it is, go ahead and think about it and look over the resources in this session that can help you get to that place. Now, before I let you go, you do have homework. You are to click on the link here and listen to this story on YouTube. It is called Omelas, and it is a wonderful story that we will be digging into our next live session. Thanks so much. See you then.